It was the summer of 2000. Something incredible actually changed inside the world. It happened to be that reality television actually swept over and started in the United Kingdom, in Great Britain itself. What happened in the year 2000? The series Big Brother came about, and hence what actually happened, many different personalities actually came inside this house, which was viewed throughout the 24 hours a day. It was shown on E4, on Channel 4, and pretty much the entire British nation was gripped to it, especially at that point in time. I was doing, I think, my GCSEs, A-levels, and everyone was watching it, everyone was talking about it. And there was a character of the name Nick Bateman, who actually came into the house with full of promise. It was very popular. But what was he doing? His flaw inside the house in of itself. He cheated. He was cheating in every single thing. He was, the whole point, every single week you nominate two people to leave to the house. He was sort of writing and penning away, breaking all the rules and lying within regards to all his life stories to get sympathy of the housemates. And he cheated, and he was booted out, and he became the most hated person in the United Kingdom. 2 summers before that, an interesting thing happened where the most hated man in the UK was David Beckham. Why was this, friends? What happened was, obviously, he was full of promise. He was probably the best footballer at that point in time in England, without a doubt, possibly in Europe at that point in time. And he was doing brilliantly inside the World Cup. He was doing brilliantly for Manchester United. I remember he scored a phenomenal free kick against Colombia in the group stage. What happened was, the second round, it all changed. He was playing phenomenally against Argentina. And all of a sudden, he gives a petulant kick out of anger, out of frustration. And other opponent, Diego Simeone, actually collapsed and dived as if he had been knocked out by Mike Tyson. And because of the theatrics of Simeone, he got sent off. And he was the most hated man in the UK that summer. But what's interesting is, in both of these cases, they came back, both these personalities, afterwards, to become, let's say, the most likeable figures at different points in time. Nick Bateman, he was lying. He looked like a compulsive liar. The housemates at the time were telling him, you've got to change. You're coming out there into the real world. You've been evicted. You've got to change. So I think there was, back in the year 2010, 2011, there was a follow-up series of let's just say, the greatest housemates, or 10 of the housemates from 10 years had come together, and he ended up in 5th place. And he actually ended up, he was so charismatic and so truthful in the follow-up series, and so nice, everyone saw the nice side of him. Yeah, he ended up not so nasty Nick Bateman. Instead of nasty Nick, he actually changed his name. What did David Beckham do at the end? He was rock bottom. He was hated. He could have sulked. He could have gone into misery. He could have collapsed, as it says. But what did he do? He came back at the end, and he became, possibly the next year, he lifted the Champions League the next year in 1999, famously, when they won the treble. And he was probably the best football player around, especially when it came to the next tournament in the year 2000. It was absolutely incredible over here. So it just shows that you can become rock bottom over here at one stage of time. And then shortly afterwards, you can actually rise and become, let's say, the greatest at the pinnacle of everything. And that's one thing interesting, friends. We are coming in, obviously, after the terrible year we've unfortunately suffered, where the 101 hostages are still being kept inside those terror situations over there. And our heroic soldiers have got to go out to Lebanon, have been all over Gaza, all over the place, protecting Israel over here. We went through so much of the country this year as a nation. All the Jewish people, everyone that identifies with Israel, all across the entire globe this year. What a tough year it's been. But we might have thought, like, in different areas that, we might have had difficulties. We might have fell short in some aspects. It could be within regards to relationships, within regards to our kids, within regards to our friends, within business partners, whatever it might be. But we can always turn around, even if we did hit rock bottom in a specific field, because nowadays we live in, let's say, a digital day and age. Now there's more than ever, people have probably more challenges, let's just say, than ever before, from all across the globe, from every dominion of personality. But now is the time for the New Year's resolution, how we can improve ourselves, how we can go from that, let's say, that rock bottom place, or, the place maybe we fell short in, and actually excel and actually do brilliantly in that. And, we all have, especially We will hear the New Year's resolutions come out especially in England when we came from. Everyone's saying we've got a New Year's resolution when it comes to January the 1st, 31st of December at 12 o'clock at night when the big men is chiming. What's our New Year's resolution? What's our New Year's resolution over here? One will say go to the gym more often. One would go and say this. One would say become a better person. All these different reasons. But really we can excel this year. And we just... My heart goes, I pray every single day for the return of the hostages immediately, unconditionally, and for the safety of our heroic soldiers, and for blessings for all over the world, for it to be a year of peace and prosperity for everybody. Obviously, Israel being a good light, anti-Semitism will be eradicated this year, and we'll just see good things, and we'll all be able to celebrate together in smachot, and in joy, and just with blessings. So wishing you all a Shana Tova, Metzukah, K'tiva v'chatima tova, and wishing all of your families well for this fantastic, hopefully fantastic new year ahead of us as we come into Rosh Hashana over here. So it's 3 days, obviously, because it's Wednesday night and Thursday night. Obviously, naturally, it's Shabbat straight after. So 72-hour, you could say, Jewish festival over here. So wishing you all well. Enjoy the apple and the honey and the pomegranate. And whatever you're doing, some people might be celebrating in their own way, but we'll all be happy. And Happy New Year to all.